Guys, as per our viewers' request, let's talk about winter driving, about little tricks and things that you can do to beat that ice and snow and to come up on top and to make that delivery on time, no matter what time it is.
Yes.
So here we go. At the same time, while we're talking here, there's going to be some B-roll rolling in the background, so you're going to see how easy it is to control the semi trucks on the ice. There is nothing to it. You probably heard some of those tricks where you if a trailer starts jackknifing, you just pull that hand valve and it's gonna kind of straighten it out. And I have some bad news for you. It's not gonna work.
No.
The only thing that this handle is gonna do, it may work in once in a million times, maybe, not because of a handle, just because the holisticness of the situation, and it was just gonna straighten out anyway. Most likely, if you're gonna pull the handle as means of straightening out the unit, instead of your wheels still somewhat spinning and having at least some traction, we're gonna stop. And at that point, your wheels no longer know what's forward, what's sideways.
Right.
And the gravity is the king. So, in my experience, as driving for many years in snow, ice, and making some risky decisions. And I'm still here, never wrecked a truck. I'm pretty proud about it, but I've been a few times close. And now that I'm looking backwards, I don't think it was worth it. I think literally out of probably 12 years of driving, I only started making really, really good decisions about when it's time to park for the last 2 years.
I think that's the key, Mike. Decisions. You got to know your environment out there, know what you can and cannot do, and taking chances. It's not worth it in the end to be able to take the chances. You either can do it or you can't. Mother Nature is something. So
absolutely, and even some of you, and I know you guys been places. You survived everything. Here's the challenge. Let's say you're this perfect driver, and you just rolling down the highway, very slippery highway. Let's say you're sure that you're not gonna start skidding. How about that four-wheeler 200 yards ahead of you? When he starts spinning,
right.
What you gonna do then? What's the plan?
There isn't one.
and here we go. And in those situations, the harder you hit those brakes, the sooner it's all gonna start.
Yeah.
The sooner it's all gonna get out of control, and you're just gonna go downhill from there. So again, I think to avoid bad decisions. That's the only thing that's going to help.
And speaking of decisions in that scenario you just gave, if you are moving and there's vehicles in front of you, that distance is going to be valuable. We certainly talk about distance when there isn't any snow or any inclement weather, but when you have inclement weather, you certainly want to make sure, because the difference in the success of not having a disaster or hitting that vehicle that spun out in front of you is the amount of distance that you're going to have to be able to react to it.
Yes, and here's I've heard that also a lot as a driver from the safety and whatnot. But as a driver, here's what I'm still dealing with. I'm going down the highway, keeping the safe distance. And those four-wheelers, we don't care about my distance. We come from exit ramps, we come passing, and some of them we start passing the truck, and then all the debris and snow that goes from under the tires, then we're like, oh crap, what's going on? I just need to hurry up. We start hurrying up, then we start skidding, we freak out, we hit the brakes, out of the road. You're lucky if you were able to somehow manage to go around it, but the whole point is still distance, just a tool. But if you only rely on the distance, you already kind of placed yourself in a bad situation, because you can control your distance, you cannot control other people's distance.
I agree. I certainly agree. And as awful as it may sound, when it comes down to distance, because you're right, they're going to do it. They're not. The other cars are not going to consider the fact that you have 40,000 pounds, in the trailer, truck and trailer, 70,000, 80,000, what have you. They're going to continue to do what they do. And again, you can't control the other vehicle, but you have to be able to make decisions concerning you. So again, although I agree with you, if I'm traveling, my only option, if I see that they're spinning mud, then of course I have to slow down even more. Or if it seems though I can't slow down, or whether it's not allowing me to do so, then the best decision I can think of right off the top of my head, I have to find a place where I have to get off the road.
And I strongly encourage everyone to consider that as the main mean of getting out of that situation. Because again, you don't control other vehicles. You can arguably somewhat control your vehicle, but you're not in control of many situations around you. And if you start relying on luck too much, what are you doing on the road?
You'll run out eventually.
And one little situation is gonna, you're talking about this one delivery that you're trying to make that certain number, whatever your goal is, by tomorrow morning. What that number is going to mean if things are not exactly going to go your way, and things are going to go out of control very quickly, and is that worth it?
No. With that being said, that communication between you and the dispatch is vital. You're out there. If they're doing their homework, they've already looked at the weather report and understand the conditions. But you being out there in the conditions, kind of have to know that the show don't have to go on. We know we have to be at a place at a certain time, but if we can't be there, it's easier for me as the DM or talking to the DM to call ahead to the customer to say, hey, here's what's going on. Maybe we reschedule. They understand the conditions as well, but just to try to get there, to get that next load maybe, or just to make that on time. I've never been late to a place. Well, maybe this is the day that you are late.
Yeah.
Because, the options of being late and safe versus trying to be on time and in a ditch, I'll let you figure out which one you want.
Absolutely, and it comes with a whole package. Nobody in the office, I believe, will ever have any problems with any truck falling behind the schedule because of road conditions.
Right.
I can see how, let's say, Florida born and raised dispatcher who never seen snow outside the TV, who's gonna be like, yeah man, just push it. But I don't think that should be taken literally. I think you should be just like, all right, snowflake.
Yeah.
You just don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because if you haven't been in the snow, things change, Mike. You've been out there, so you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. It's different in the daytime. You're driving in snow and it's nice and slushy. Maybe have a little water, and you say, hey, I can get there. I see the road. I'm good. I got good traction. But then as soon as the sun goes down,
yep,
and it begins to get a little dark, and the temperature drops. So now you go from slushy water to ice.
Yep.
That's a whole different ball game.
And especially around the bridges. Mm-hmm. So you're driving through, you still think, okay, it's under control. It's kind of, it's still good. It's still wet. It's still wet. It's still wet. The difference between it's still wet and you in the ditch is only one bridge.
Yes.
It's only one bridge. And if you, let's say, cruising on the cruise control, that's almost gonna guarantee you that you're gonna be in that.
That's suicide.
Yeah. If you're gonna, again, at any point. I remember as a driver driving through the situations just like you described, and on every bridge you kind of like, I think it was something. You gotta pay attention to that, because a lot of times, one of the biggest problems with black ice and stuff, you just kind of stay off the gas pedal, stay off the brake pedal, no matter what. And just try to, if you're already in that situation, you can, you chose not to stop at the safe place.
Right.
Just don't touch anything, hold on to that steering wheel and just make it through. And then, if that's how you felt, you better be going to a safe place to park at that point for sure.
Yes.
Because I think a lot of times the people, once we feel the skid, the first human reaction, and theoretically we know all that. It's not new to them that stay off the brakes, it's human reaction to I just need to slow down.
And hit the brakes.
And we hit the brakes, and that's it. And that's a game over.
Yeah.
So, again, there is no magic way of surviving the snow.
No, it certainly isn't. But if there have to be one that we would advise from a safety standpoint, again, the show don't have to go on.
Absolutely. I think this is the first, most important, and the last thing I would advise. If you're not 100% sure that road conditions are safe, there is no need to be on that road. There is always tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
There is always another day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all right.
Yes.
It's not a problem.
And for those that have, radios, which most of you guys have, FM radios and things like that, you can always dial into the local channel in your area that can give weather reports and things like that, let you know if roads are closed, safe, froze over, what have you. For the most part, there's a lot of the Midwest, Western states, they encounter this a lot, so they, for the most part, take care of their highways. It's just getting off the beaten path. Sometimes that poses a challenge. But again, listening to the radio and things of that nature, communicating with your dispatchers that they can go Google some things and go on and look at the area you are as well as where you're going to kind of help you with the road conditions and make a decision. Because again, if the decision is, and the dispatchers should be able to accept no as an answer. Can't go right now. We'll go later when it clears up a bit.
Yep, and don't get dragged into this for money, because let me tell you, I've seen that sometimes some huge storm is coming and people are still trying to get freight.
Yeah.
and it pays, but just outside the accident, let's say somehow, some way you make it safe.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what's next. Next thing is a lot of businesses are not even open. So now you made it. Let's say you made it. You can't even deliver that thing anymore. Let's say you can deliver that thing, but you can't get the reload anymore. And I've literally seen a lot of times, people, jumping on it for money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna make it, and gonna get rich by Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And it just works the other way. It ends up being, the ruined week.
Yeah, that's probably why it was $4,000 to go 1,000 miles.
Here we go. So making decisions, communicating with dispatcher. I think even dispatcher, as a dispatcher myself, I was always trying to keep my guys out of the trouble. Mm-hmm. So one of the things I would do, I would constantly watch the weather. So I know what's going on. I know there were snowstorms are coming, and you're not gonna predict every snowstorm, but you're gonna see some, and just kind of working to avoid it. Mm-hmm. Even with timing, sometimes you can go right through it with a perfect timing, and it's still gonna be a hell of a better than just blindly taking whatever pays best.
And also too, Mike, decisions are important prior to travel, because if you get in a situation where you can't get there, you gotta understand it's winter.
Yeah.
So the truck stops. If you can get to the truck stops.
Yeah.
They're going to be full,
I actually, to the guys on the road, that's a very, very real challenge. Mm-hmm. Because I can't even tell you how many times I was, let's say, driving through Wyoming. And Wyoming, one of those places pretty notorious. Mm-hmm. You arrive to Cheyenne and it looks all right. It looks like it's all good. Mm-hmm. It's all good. It's normal. And you decide, what? I'm gonna go sleep to Laramie. You start going up that hill, and about halfway through, you realize that it was a big, big mistake. And besides that, that it's already a big mistake. There is no turnaround. There is nowhere to park. And before you even get to Laramie, forget that going uphill.
You gotta come back down.
You're still gonna have to come down. What's there waiting for you? And it just priceless.
Yeah.
the feeling is priceless. And I know some of those super truckers. We're gonna say pussy.
Yeah.
But you know what? That pussy is still here.
Exactly, exactly, and that's what's more important, you know. And it didn't cause you, even if you escape with your life, but you damaged your truck, your trailer, the cargo. You almost put yourself out of business because of something that just didn't have to happen.
Yeah, driving record. You know, like I get it, like winter conditions, the snowstorm, but how does the flipping truck looks on the safety record? With a perfect story. It's
horrible. I don't care if you can tell them it was snowing and all that. Doesn't matter because it's the same as if it was dry ground.
Here we go. So basically, the individual later on that you trying to onboard with some company or something, the individual who is listening to you maybe like, yeah, sounds like horrible, sounds like I believe you that you probably had very little to do with that situation, but the computers, the paper, we blind, hey, is there a rollover? Yeah.
DOT.
Yeah, and that's it. And here we go. And now you're gonna carry that for who knows how long, just on a what's that?
DAT.
On the DAT is gonna be what, 36 months?
Yep. On the NVR, yeah.
And then besides that, just think about how long is that gonna be on some kind of insurance internal record that you have no control over.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen situations with sometimes you have this fairly clean driver and you submit his information to insurance and they say no.
Yeah.
And we can give you sometimes the answer why it's no, but I'm just again speculating here.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is something. Well, insurance has some kind of big claim with your name on it.
Yeah, well,
it's not public.
Well, they're going to eliminate their risk when they look at it. They look to see if you're a risk. You know, if you're going to be, financial risk to them, they're in it to make money, not to lose it. So they're looking, and even in Florida, in MVR, it's often 3 years. But when the insurance look, they're looking beyond 3 years.
Oh, absolutely.
So it might now your MVR may be clean, and you say, hey, Jerome, my MVR clean. I don't have anything on it, but now here's the insurance company. They're going to run a 5-year or 7-year loss runs to see or MVR, and they can say, "Ooh, yeah, it's clean, but you got a rollover right here."
And again, also, like, not everything has to be reportable, right? So if that, like big insurance company, like for example, Progressive, we're not only running as Progressive, we're running as probably like 20, 30, 40, 50 other companies.
Yeah.
And if there is a claim somewhere down the road that the company ABCD or whatever that has your name attached to it, we see it. Can we hold it against you? Can we, disclose that information? Probably not. But at the same time, we don't have to give you a reason why.
Yes. But and it's good that you say it, but Mike, they have to understand certain things are going to be beyond us as a trucking company.
Yeah.
Because, we have an insurance group, agents, adjusters, they're going to make a decision or they're going to make a recommendation is what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Like I said, you can do what you want to do, but we recommend.
You know what? I hate those recommendations. I hate those recommendations from anything, from DOT, from insurance.
Yeah.
I'm like, just give me black or white. Black or white. Let's just keep it simple. Yes or no. Yay or nay. And then, we're like, yeah, I suppose you could, but watch out. Just watch out. And you're like, what do you mean watch out? What does that mean?
You know what it means.
And then you're like,
but again, it's all about decisions. One decision or one bad decision that you didn't have, they take time to think it through, can cost you a lifetime of, misery. And again, when it really didn't have to happen, because, more importantly, what you said, well, all of it is important, but you do all that, you take the risk, and you slide. Sometimes the trailer fishtail, you get it corrected, and then you get to that location, and nobody's there.
Yeah.
I had to say it again.
Yeah.
It's like, what was this all about?
Yeah.
Why did I risk
all that for nothing? Because at the same time, it's not, even if the people there, in the local village where the company that you're going to, we may be able to work, but if we start getting all those phone calls that none of the trucks are going to be arriving today, we may just call in all their, worker crew and say, hey, just stay home today. We're just trying to save some money. And now you arrive and here we go. There is nothing there. Another thing that we just spoke about before this video when Christian was here, You arrive to this facility. After a snowstorm, you're a first truck on that yard.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're gonna tell you, yeah, bro, back into this dock, right? It's going kind of like down like this.
Yeah.
All right, you do that, and then you're stuck. And then we're like, hey, there's another truck coming in. You got to get out of here. And you're like, it's your dock. None of that matters. Nobody cares.
No.
And I know, is it fair? No. Does it suck? Yes. The challenge is, as a driver, it's your call. If you see those things coming, don't do it. Because when you are there and we have unsafe dock,
Mm-hmm.
and you're saying, that, hey, listen, this is not safe. I'm not going to do this. We have to deal with you. You calling the shots at that
Mm-hmm.
point. Well, and I would not suggest to argue with them. I would suggest call your dispatcher or safety.
And we take care of that.
And we're going to do that. And you just chill in the truck, wait for something to happen. But if you made this decision to go into the dock and now you're saying, oh, but it was not safe because it was not clean, that's on you. We literally can get the towing to tow you out there, and you're going to be responsible for a bill.
And not only that, but guess what? Remember it's snowing.
Yeah.
So now that price done tripled.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because if I gotta come out in the snow, get me some stuff and all this to come get you. Yeah.
Yeah, and look, you can't really, like, I know, the tow truck drivers were not very loved in trucking community.
For obvious reasons. Right?
but when you think about it, I was like, I think there was some like old TV show about tow trucks.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were like listing like how much it cost to build a tow truck,
Mm-hmm.
and we were talking about some like older truck that's built to be a tow truck, it's like $250,000.
Wow.
And you're like, and the winter is not there every day, so we have to make that money. I guess nothing is free.
And the insurance to be able to operate that business.
Oh, absolutely, because now I would assume you're probably super high risk because. Now you're dealing with already bad situations, and from bad, it can very quickly go to worse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So hey, at the end of the day, we said a lot of things, a lot of good things. But again, you have to be the one to make that decision. You know your environment. You're out there. You know what you can and cannot do. It's better to always err on the side of caution than to take chance or risk. If you're in these areas. That we know that it snows and get a whole abundance of them, Colorado, just to name one. You have to make sure because some states have chain laws.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that you do have chains, whether you need them or not, or, DOT can always stop you even if, the weather is good and ask you to show you the chains.
Yeah.
If you can't show them the chains, then there's a fine as well as a DOT penalty, which hits your safer and our safer score too. So make sure if you're operating in those areas that you are that you have your chains, not only to put them on if needed, but if they stop you, that you can show the DOT that you are prepared in the event that we have some inclement weather in those areas.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess the bottom line is planning, bailing out early, better early than too late.
Yes.
Communicating with your team, and again, don't allow other people to bully you into bad situations, because at the end of the day you're going to be the one suffering in those situations. And if the company that you work for don't seem to understand, at the end of the day it's your choice to work there or not, right?
Yes.
And safety first, there is nothing more important than that, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Have a safe winter, and again, if you have any questions, feel free to comment, send anything you need to. We're here to answer your questions. Not that we're the resident expert, we just share our experiences that we have concerning driving.
Or share in the comment section below some of those tricks, how to come out of the spinning situation.
You sure is there tricks?
I'm sure you can hear a lot in the truck stops. Like, it's I find it not very believable, but like people talk a lot. Talk a lot, but can we back up?
Yeah.
Can we back up for what we say? So anyway, guys, like, share, subscribe. Let us know how you deal with ice and snow, how you come out of the jackknifes, and how you stay on top. Take care.